Stephanie Roche. Welcome, Stephanie, from Rapide des Joachim. She is the pro-mayor.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Stephanie. And then Karen Kelly is also not with us physically, but Robert Willis, pardon me, is the pro-mayor of Thorn. And you are here once again. Good to see you, Robert. So could I, first of all, we will just go to the TNO agenda, and the attendance sheet has been circulated. Please fill it out. And so we are opening the meeting. Just a reminder that this is being recorded for Facebook Live, and it will be available on the website probably tomorrow through Colleen Jones. The déclaration of the use of the language of your choice. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Au besoin, il y aura la présence sur place d'une ressource de la MRC pour assurer une traduction. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. If necessary, a resource of the MRC will be available to ensure translation. And the declaration statement of the warden, declaration of decorum. Nous sommes élus par les gens du Pontiac pour les représenter au mieux de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Je vous remercie. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and business-like manner. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. Thank you. Are there any declarations or conflicts of interest on this agenda? Okay, seeing none. Could I have a resolution to adopt the minutes of the last TNO sitting, moved by Councillor Godin? All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Are there any public questions for the TNO agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to accounts paid. Annie Biancourt.
Bonsoir, good evening. So for the TNO, for this month, we only have one amount receivable from the Ministry of Natural Resources for $16,977.15. And we also paid bills, of course, in the last month for a total of $116,218.70. There were a couple of bills for road maintenance, total up about $60,000 there, and then a bunch of smaller bills for supplies and gas for the vehicles, and the quarterly payment to the MRC for the services and salaries, and some shares.
Thanks, Annie. Are there any questions or comments about that report? Okay, seeing none, could I have someone move the resolution, please? Moved by Councillor Ronget. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Number 10, the awarding of a direct agreement contract rolling surface of Chemin de Bois Franc, Jims Lake Road as of mileage 47. Jason.
Yes, hello, everybody. Good evening. Bonsoir tout le monde. I don't know if you remember this spring, we had submitted on a project, a 50-50 funding project with the government for road maintenance and repair. We had reserved $100,000 for a segment on Jims Lake Road. Unfortunately, our project was not retained by the government. So however, since we have this money available from our TNO budget, we are still going to go ahead with the spending of this money on the kilometer between kilometer 47 and 67 on Jims Lake Road. which is a segment that needs a lot of TLC, we could say. Donc, comme j'y ai mentionné en anglais, on avait appliqué ce printemps pour un projet là, de financement pour réparation de routes et d'entretien avec le gouvernement, qui est un projet de 50-50. Pardon. Et malheureusement, notre projet n'a pas été retenu. Par contre, vu qu'on avait l'argent, on va aller de l'avant quand même avec l'investissement de ce 100 000 $-là sur ce tronçon-là. Donc, on va aller, dans le fond, avec un octroi direct avec DGB Transport pour faire les travaux. So we'll go ahead with the award of a contract to DGB Transport to do the work that is supposed to be done. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Any comments or questions? Okay, could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Councillor Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Could I have a resolution to close the sitting of this meeting? Moved by Councillor Donny Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Okay, we'll go on to our public meeting of August 16th. First, I need a resolution to open the meeting. Moved by Mayor Brent Orr. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. The attendance sheet has been circulated. Just a reminder that this meeting is being recorded for the purposes of Facebook Live and will be available on the website tomorrow. The declaration use of language of your choice. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Au besoin, il y aura la présence sur place d'une ressource de la MRC pour assurer une traduction. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. If necessary, a resource of the MRC will be available to ensure translation. And the declaration of decorum by the warden. Nous sommes élus par les gens du Pontiac pour les représenter au mieux de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion. Et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Je vous remercie. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and businesslike manner. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. Could I have a resolution for the reading and adoption of the agenda? Moved by Mayor Christine Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest on this agenda? Seeing none. Go on to number 7. Could I have a resolution to adopt the minutes of the last sitting in June of the public meeting? Moved by Mayor Raymond Pilon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. We're now going to have a presentation by Sylvie Bertrand from Transport Action on the subject of the need for recruitment of volunteers in each municipality. Welcome, bienvenue, Sylvie. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, merci beaucoup. Premièrement, j'aimerais ça remercier le Conseil des maires de m'avoir invité à faire un genre de promotion. Comme vous savez, Transport Action est très important dans la MRC Pontiac. Aussi, dans la municipalité Pontiac, on dessert les 18 municipalités. Présentement, comme vous savez, on veut garder nos bénévoles. On a 55 bénévoles actifs, mais on est toujours à la recherche dans certaines municipalités, surtout. Je vais vous nommer les municipalités qu'on cherche vraiment bénévoles. Puis quand je dis bénévoles, il faut faire attention, c'est que le chauffeur n'est pas payé, mais il y a des frais qui sont lui remis tous les transports qu'il fait pour l'utilisation de sa voiture. On est à la recherche dans la municipalité de Shawville, un grand besoin dans la municipalité de Shawville, Bristol, l'île du Grand Calumet, Portage, Camels Bay. Je pourrais vous dire que Mansfield et Fort-Coulonge, on est chanceux, on est quand même assez bien dans ce côté-là. L'Ouest Pontiac, on a quand même, on pourrait prendre un bénévole, ça nous ferait du bien parce que souvent nos bénévoles s'en allent en vacances, des choses comme ça, on a besoin des remplacements. Aussi, Couillon, on dessert la municipalité Pontiac, puis c'est notre municipalité, notre région, ce qu'on a plus de difficultés. Fait que je ne sais pas si vous connaissez des gens dans la région de Couillon, Losville, Breckenridge. On ne veut pas faire de bris de service le moins possible. Fait que si vous connaissez des gens qui sont intéressés, un ou deux bénévoles là, dans les municipalités que je viens de nommer, là, on n'a pas besoin de plus qu'un ou deux. Ça nous aiderait beaucoup. Puis là, qu'est-ce qui fait peur à Transport Action? C'est que avec le prix de l'essence, c'est certain qu'on a plus de difficultés à recruter, mais on augmente le taux qu'on donne à nos chauffeurs en raison de l'augmentation du coût de l'essence. Fait que je ne sais pas si c'est ça qui fait qu'on a de la difficulté à aller chercher des bénévoles, mais si vous connaissez, passez le mot. Pour plus d'informations, ils ont juste à nous communiquer par téléphone. Puis on va tout expliquer exactement c'est quoi il faut qu'ils font. Ils viennent nous rencontrer, on fait l'inscription et puis on va tout expliquer, mais si le plus de monde peut passer le mot, le mieux ça va être pour nous autres parce que je sais que la population de la MRC Pontiac sont très fidèles à Transport Action pour être en mesure de se rendre à leurs rendez-vous médicaux. C'est très important pour eux. Fait que ça, c'est un petit peu le message que je voulais passer. S'il y en a qui ont des questions, qui veulent en savoir plus, appelez-nous au bureau, puis on va tout vous expliquer. Fait que, merci pour m'avoir donné l'occasion de passer notre message.
So Kim Lesage is going to give Sylvia just a brief traduction en anglais pour les membres du conseil. Okay.
Merci.
Thank you very much, Sylvie. So we want to share an important message in that we're looking for volunteers to help with our Transport Action service for the citizens of the Pontiac and of the municipality of Pontiac as well. There's a big need for volunteers, and it could only be for replacing other volunteers when they're on holidays or on some downtimes. We're particularly looking in the areas of Couillon, Shawville, and Bristol. J'ai-tu manqué une place, Sylvie?
Il y a Calumet Island, Portage, Camels Bay, College and Chapeau were not too where we can manage, but even if we get one or two, we will never refuse a volunteer, never.
She also mentioned that if it's because of a rate that was given before per kilometer, well, now that gas prices are increasing, that rate is also increased. Another a good reason to do it is you can earn some non-taxable money, and also if you need any more information, please call Transport Action. They'll be happy to talk you through it and all the benefits. It gives us an opportunity to meet new people in our community, to do something fulfilling for volunteer work. And again, please spread the word that we're looking for volunteers. It's a very important service that we offer in the Pontiac.
J'aimerais ça rajouter quelque chose qui est important, c'est que si quelqu'un est intéressé à devenir bénévole, j'aimerais qu'il sache qu'ils ne sont pas obligés de penser qu'ils s'impliquent à 5 jours semaine. ce qu'ils veulent faire une journée, 2 jours, c'est à leur disposition à eux autres. Souvent, c'est des personnes retraitées, ils veulent pas faire plus que une journée ou 2, on accepte n'importe quoi.
And finally, if you only have 1 day a week that you're available, they'll accept it. We, if you can give 1 or 2 days, it's not necessarily 5 days, but if you can give 5, we'll take that too.
For sure.
Okay, and also we have some media here tonight, and we'll ensure that all the local media have this message as well, if you haven't already given it to them. So in each municipalities, the mayors will share this information with their councils and on their websites, get the message out to the public.
Thank you very much.
Our pleasure. Thank you for coming on with such an important announcement. So now we will go to item 9, which is usually a report from our youth council. The youth council has been on a bit of a holiday for July and August, but we are reconvening in September. So at our September meeting, we will have the report from our president. So then we go on to number 10, public question period. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the council with a question? Yes, please identify yourself and say where you live.
Check, check.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. I'm wondering if you could clarify for me the format. Am I allowed 5 minutes for presentation? Am I allowed how many questions? What are the?
It's called question period. It's usually 2 questions, and we usually give about 5 minutes.
Okay. So I can ask a couple of questions and then make a commentary on the answers. Is that correct? Format?
So ask your questions and they'll be answered, and then we'll see how much time.
Okay. My first question is, there was a $50,000 research and feasibility study amount paid in 2020 to look into the incinerator. Could you comment on where the status of that research and feasibility study is at the present?
Yes, I'm going to stand up so I can see you. The $50,000 that was set aside, not 1 cent has been spent. 30,000 of it got reallocated into other parts of our budget with other needs. I'd have to turn to our treasurer to maybe do a bit of research, but I remember 10,000 last year, I think, was just taken out because we were trying to find budget cuts, and 20,000 earlier through Cindy Phillips. She came with a need through, I think it was economic development, and we reallocated it. So to date, we have not spent 1 cent. The only money that has been spent was approximately $4,000 on a bus trip when we went to see the Durham York energy facility. And that came not even out of that budget. It came out of the council travel budget. So we
Thank you.
still have $20,000 unspent.
Okay. So if the motion was passed, moved by Jim Gibson in 2020, was there a subsequent motion that happened to reallocate it? Because that should be staying and remaining siloed into that account for feasibility and research study.
Well, there would have been a decision made and voted on at budget time, and we could look and find out exactly, when that was voted on. But I have a pretty good memory for that $50,000 because I thought that we would be needing to engage it or use it with some kind of consultant, but we haven't yet spent $1 of it
Okay.
for that purpose.
And I have a question then on that, because given
Is this your last question?
no, that you said I have 5 minutes and you've spoken for
Okay, it's
most of
2 questions, but is this all related to your first question?
This is all related to
The
the
budget?
discussion I'm going to have. You've allowed other presentations to speak. Am I not allowed to have that same courtesy?
Well, it's called question period. It's usually for the public to come and ask questions.
Well, I understand that, but people make presentations too. Is there a format one can do that then?
Yes, there is. Why don't you continue with your questions?
Okay. So the next question is, who owns Covanta currently?
A company called EQT in Sweden.
Did you not go on CBC a couple of weeks ago and tell them that Sweden, the country, actually owned Covanta?
I said Sweden was the country that is setting the best example for waste management in the world, and that Sweden purchased the 55 facilities for over $5 billion.
But Sweden didn't actually, it's a multi-hedge company that actually is based in Stockholm. So it's not a Swedish firm.
Well, you have done your research.
Yes, I
didn't-
have.
Yes, but it is no longer owned by the United States, by an American company. It is now owned by Sweden.
So you also at the public meeting you had in Shawville on the 19th of June, you said that you were imminently getting a grant that wasn't going to cost anyone for the business plan a cent because the grant money was coming, and you mentioned that Deloitte was going to be the firm that was getting that. Through access to information, I asked and received information that in fact there's been no bid solicitation that's happened to find a firm. I'm a former federal contract negotiator, so I understand this stuff quite well. And so I wonder how it is that if no potential contractors have been identified, why would you name drop Deloitte as being the company that would be getting this contract?
It's a good question. And as you know, sometimes in certain fields, there are very few companies that have the experience. Energy from waste, there is no no company probably in Quebec that could say that they have done the research on an energy from waste facility, because we don't yet have an energy from waste facility in Quebec. The Deloitte mention was because Deloitte did the business plan for Durham, York.
Okay, so
And
in
so
my
they've had
last,
the experience, and they are an international company.
yes, but you would never get for $200,000 the kind of work you're talking about. You say you were going to get an environmental assessment, a business plan, and also the feasibility study. I'm currently reading a 697 page document that was Covanta, that was just their environmental assessment process. So you're not going to get that kind of money from Deloitte. We used Deloitte when I was acting regional chair of Ottawa Carleton and the regional councillor for Kitchissippi Ward. So you're not going to get that kind of value because that document, that 700 page document, the costs are not, and in fact, that document would drive, you're going to printing off 50 pages at a time, literally talks about that Covanta initially wanted to be a 400, they gave this company.
This is turning into a speech. You did ask me a question. I'm going to answer it.
Well,
About the
are you aware
amount of
that
money
originally,
and where it's coming from?
are you
want that
aware
answered?
that Durham originally wanted to have a 400,000 ton capacity, and that when Stentec did the environmental assessment, what it showed that there was a presence of dioxins and toxins in breast milk from babies, that mothers that live within 10 kilometers. Well, it's right in.
I'm sorry,
This is, well, you're
okay.
interrupting, but the fact of it is that it's called a site human health and ecological risk
Okay, I
assessment.
think you've hit your 5 minutes. Would you like me to at least answer
Well,
your question?
does the 5 minutes count when you
We've
talk 3 minutes?
decided as a council to only spend $120,000. We're not spending 200. And that is not to include an environmental assessment, Linda. That is simply for the business plan.
Good,
Thank you
because
very
had said
much.
at the meeting that
Thank you
it
very
was going
much.
to be
Okay.
for all three.
We'll need your microphone now, because I think, would you like to ask a question? And anybody else in the audience? Oh, yes, go ahead. You can take the microphone. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Stephen Weiss. I'm from Fort Delange, Quebec. First off, I'd like to say I'm kind of supportive of anything that brings jobs into Pontiac. But I do have some questions that I'm actually interested in. I haven't had an opportunity to really go over too much, but a little background for myself. I'm a 22-year veteran truck driver. I've ran large Fortune 100 companies. I've assisted in with businesses like TransX Logistics out of Montreal, which is 2,000 employees.
In fairness, I need to have you now zero in on your questions.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
here's my question for you. Has anyone looked into the amount of damage that's going to be caused by the transport trucks that are going to be hauling waste in from Ontario on our road system? And is that being taken into consideration when viewing the tax requirements on this business that's going to be damaging our roads, our brand new bridge that we've repaired here, and any other stuff that's involved in transport waste, such as rubber that's thrown off on the road. Brake use increases the amount of metal that's in the environment. So you're asking for more load capacity to put on the 148, I'm assuming? Or
Okay,
like,
well, thank you.
I'm just wondering, have you guys looked into the impact of heavy trucks coming down the road and what it would cost taxpayers?
Yes, we do know that these are going to be 53-foot long trucks.
Mhm.
And actually, one of our mayors is trucking every day. So he's also a bit of an expert on this. And he confirmed to me that each truck could carry about 38 tons of waste. We were only thinking 25 to 30. So for the amount of waste that we would hope to bring to our facility each day, we're looking at 30 to 35 trucks. The trucks will only be coming on, depending who our partners are that decide to bring the waste to the Pontiac, would be using Highway 17 and Highway 148. And they're only picking up at transfer stations. So this is why we won't have an excess number of trucks. And it's hoped by that time they will be electric as well. So I don't know a lot about the braking system or tires and that sort of thing, but I am confident that it is going to greatly reduce the greenhouse gas the day that a city like Ottawa can close their landfill, which is currently the size of 150 football fields. And one thing we do know about energy from waste is for every 1 ton of greenhouse gas that can be processed in energy from waste, you're removing that 1 ton of greenhouse gas from the atmosphere.
So
Do you have
Yeah,
another question?
I have
Okay,
2 more. One's just a question about employment.
yes.
Obviously, the facility is going to be here, but what about the truck driving jobs? Where are they going to be placed at? And will there be a benefit to Pontiac? Because you're saying 38 loads a
It's a
day.
very good point.
You
All
know, I
right.
want to know how many of those might be here.
So I guess if we do have the facility here, all of the loads will be brought here. We hope that, first of all, I'll answer how many jobs will the facility create? We are told that the facility would take 36 months to build, and that would require 800 people. Now, those 800 people, some would be specialists, of course, they would be coming from more than just the Pontiac. But it is our hope at this Council of Mayors that we could ask that a priority be given for the hiring of the 50 permanent jobs from the Pontiac. And when we went on the tour of the facility, we saw that they were telling us that maybe on each shift, they only had 17 or 18 people working. They had 3 shifts because it goes 24/7, and it only closes down twice a year for repairs. And of those 50 jobs, maybe 4 of them would be engineering type jobs where they're monitoring, of course, what's being released from the facility. But many of the other ones would be heavy machinery, various jobs that would require specific training. But I think they'd be well suited to people who've been working in the Pontiac, in forestry jobs, etc.
Okay. And then just one last thing, and then
Yes.
I'll hand the mic back. Now, as a truck driver, and I'm very familiar with environmental impact,
Yes.
most transport trucks do not pollute heavily anymore. You can almost breathe the fumes that come out of a well-regulated transport truck.
Okay.
But the one thing that a lot of people aren't understanding is the second largest form of pollution that's on our roads and in our environment today is heavy metal waste from heavy truck traffic. The snub braking of transport trucks coming down the hill will
Mhm.
shed particulate into the air of metal off of the brake shoes, which will scatter into the farm fields along the side of the 148. Have you guys taken into consideration the possibility that you might have to remediate land?
Well, one thing we have hoped is that with more truck traffic, we might get some improvements made to Highway 148 too. For a long time, the Council of Mayors have felt that we need greater safety on Highway 148 and whatever that entails. It could entail some widening. I don't know about expropriation, but when you talk about it's especially worse on hills,
That's correct.
we don't have too many hills
Well, the big
that I
hill
can picture.
that comes down from the 148 there, that's right by the Racine Farm, is my primary thought. That's a 12% downgrade right there. And it's going to trucks break down that hill.
Well, we
I'm
should
just,
look,
my concern is just
yeah,
make sure that you check into heavy metal waste.
We
on the brake
will.
shoes.
we
That's
will.
my
This is
concern.
an excellent point. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. And it's Stephen, right? Stephen, please. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, are there any other questions in our public question period? Thank you very much. We'll continue then with the agenda. My warden's report. It's a bit longer than usual because we didn't have a meeting in July. So I attended, actually with Kim Lesage, we had a meeting here in Elsie Gibbons with the UQO and ODO, which was great. Had an FRR1 meeting with the other wardens of UWA. I attended the grad with Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong for OSSA. Went to the Thorn Council meeting. Had a meeting with Sandra Armstrong. Went to the Healing Garden in Mansfield. Had a meeting with Rhoda Gerard from Calumet Island. Met with Warden Peter Eamon, who is the warden of Renfrew County. Jessica Fork, Budget Committee, Connexion Fib Pickenock, which Lynn and I sit on. Autonum Pontiac AGA held in Campbell's Bay. CM 2023-0521, the concerning the issues caused by flooding. Territorial Committee for the CISO. Inauguration of the Vineyard in Bristol. Canada Day in Shawville. Cushman Church 100th anniversary at Norway Bay. The Cabinet. This was a meeting held with Kim Lesage, Jason Durant, and Carrie Richardson and myself. We had a meeting virtually with the Cabinet Advisor to the Ministry of Environment, which was very helpful. I visited the Trail Road landfill in Ottawa and had a tour of it. And what's interesting is all the solid waste management staff have their offices right there at the landfill. And I was able to see how they're just beginning phase 5 of their landfill, which they just have 30% left of. Mayor Lisa McGee, met with her from Arnprior. Investment Committee, Energy from Waste meeting, our staff Energy from Waste group. Interview with Chip, presentation to Chief Dylan Whiteduck, a CBC Ottawa interview, meeting about patrimony with the EDC, Marie Laforge. She also spoke to all of you at the plenary meeting last week, and Anne-Marie Gendron. We had the plenary meeting. Final presentations to the CN Safety Commission. I was invited by Chief Lance Haymond because I had been an intervener. And so Dylan Whiteduck was there as well as Barrier Lake First Nations was held in Ottawa, 50 Sussex. And I just want to say that I was happy to be there. I was proud to be there. I felt that the chiefs all represented their communities extremely well. And one thing that I learned that I hadn't known, maybe you knew this, according to the UN has a policy that for all Indigenous people around the world, that there can be no storage of nuclear waste on their territory. And our federal government of Canada approved that 2 years ago. And what was interesting about this hearing is, you know, they had asked for a hearing and had been told it had to be virtual, and that's not the way they meet. And during COVID, of course, you had to meet virtually, and here we were, no longer COVID, they still had to have a virtual meeting. And one of the chiefs was speaking just in Algonquin, and they kept, yeah, it's on. Yes, it's, sorry, it's for, I don't know how it sounds to you, but it's for the benefit of the online. It's okay? Thank you. Oh, speak a little closer. There we are. Okay, pardon me. And one of the chiefs, you know, who was only speaking in Algonquin, it was embarrassing because they were supposed to have provided a translator, and the translator, well, just couldn't translate. So that was hard because he had to stop and start at least 3 or 4 times. So we'll see what the final decision is after that. I did another CHIP interview, had a meeting by phone with Louis Campo. Now, some of you might remember he used to be the manager of the Davidson Mill in its more successful times. And he has submitted a paper which has been received by the university. He's doing a PhD on a community forest in the Pontiac. So he's doing a lot of work, all free of charge to us. So we're fortunate. It's going to be great to see what he comes up with. I went to Island Fest with Corey Spence in the rain. Only Alumet Island would have a big crowd in the rain, but this was a special. Here, Corey, I'm going to let you just explain what was special about this Island Fest. What was it commemorating?
Yeah, so just before I start, I'd like to say thank you for coming and thank you for those who came, and also thank you for the people who organized it. In my opinion, they went above and beyond, and it was a great success. So what was a little bit special about it? Wasn't quite as special as Bryson's or as Shawville's anniversary, but we had a little bit of an anniversary ourselves. It was the 25th anniversary of Alumet Island being a municipality. So we amalgamated back in 1998. So that was Alumet Island East, Alumet Island West, and the village of Chapeau to become Alumet. So we had some people out there to celebrate that, and it was a great success. Yeah, so thank you.
It was wonderful. And you had quite a collection of former mayors, including your father, Denzel Spence, and former councillors. So it was really great, and had a nice dinner planned and everything else. So that concludes my report. Any questions on anything in my report? Okay. We will go ahead then to announcements. And this is the time where we pass the mic around to everyone seated at the table, and you can speak about anything interesting that's coming up or has happened in your municipality.
Nothing to report in Chichester. We attended Island Fest, and we're going to attend a party in Sheenboro this weekend. Doris will talk about that.
Corey Spence again for Alumet Island. Just spoke about Island Fest. Also like to mention, I didn't mention earlier, is that congratulations to our A who had their long-awaited splash pad open this past weekend. And for upcoming events, always Thursdays during the summer months, you can come to Chapeau for the farmers market every Thursday afternoon. And just for anybody who's interested, September 14th, if you want to mark your calendars in Chapeau, what's happening is that back in February past, we had a major power outage in Pontiac West, and Hydro-Quebec had promised to come up and give a presentation to the citizens to let them know what happened, what they did to fix and things, what they're going to do moving forward. And hopefully the event will have perhaps one or two other presentations as well. So again, that's Thursday, September 14th in the Community Hall, Harrington Community Hall in Chapeau. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Just to elaborate a bit on their 50s and 60s dance, it's in support of our Sheenboro Hall, which needs much repairs. Music will be supplied by Reg Cartner and the Under Two. I believe they're from Modder Lake. I've heard them before and they're very good. Also, on behalf of Residence Mayor, I would like to congratulate our warden, Jane Toller, who won the 50-50 back in June. And also thank her for her generous donation to Residence Mayor. It was much appreciated. Half was returned back, which was great. I think that's all I have to say, but we do have another 50-50. It started again. We got the license and we're all set to go. So our next draw is August 25th. Thank you.
Louis Corriveau, maire de l'île du Grand Calmet. Rien à reporter pour moi ici. Merci.
Nothing to report, Aileen and Kaywood.
In Thorn, and we share this with Otter Lake because we have a fire department in common. The Ottawa Fire Department has chosen to donate a Jaws of Life for our youth. They're upgrading theirs, and we're lucky we have an Ottawa firefighter who has 2 cottages in Thorn. So he arranged that. So the first person that we cut out of a car, it's golden.
Terry LaFleur from Otter Lake. Had a ball tournament last weekend. It's put on by the RA. Lots of fun. Hurt my finger. We have the 50 plus actually is organizing a night with the Plager Boys. I believe it is on September 9th. You'd have to contact them for tickets. And of course, there's still lots of time to play picket ball and enjoy the RA.
Christine Francard, maire de Fort-Coulanges. Le 25 août, au Café Downtown, il y a une soirée hawaïenne qui commence à 8 heures le soir. Puis, on a aussi la radio Chip FM qui va avoir une soirée d'humour au Cinéma Lynn le 13 septembre. Pour avoir des billets, il faut contacter la station de radio CHP. Merci.
Sandra Armstrong, maire de Mansfield et Pontefract. Au mois d'août, du 25 au 27, il y aura un tournoi de balle au champ de balle à Miotte. Et le septembre, j'ai pas la date. Le 8 septembre, il y aura un barbecue pour s'entraide à la Caisse populaire des Jardins à Fort-Coulanges. Puis, je vous pas juste pour le mois d'octobre, c'est loin, mais si des gens veulent se rendre au Patro pour acheter une table pour faire des ventes d'artisanat, donc c'est au Patro que ça va se passer le 28 octobre de 15h à 19h et le prix des tables est 20 $.
Bill from Shawville. Just a little tip for Terry. Most accidents to old men happen because they think they're young men. Our 150th celebrations are ongoing. We recently had a baby contest where Ed, Mayor of Clarendon, was good enough to judge. I guess the big event coming up is the Shawville Fair. We hope you all show up for that. And improvements are ongoing to our beautiful Mill Dam Park. We have new washrooms. Just finished the handicapped access ramp yesterday. And there are more improvements to come, more trailer hookups, et cetera, more playground equipment, and that's going to be ongoing till 2024. And that's all thanks to a $100,000 grant from the MRC. Thank you.
Ed Walsh, Mayor of Clarendon. We have it's a fundraising walk coming up. I don't know if anybody's heard of it yet or whatever it's called, Papa Walks for Kids. Anyways, he's a former resident of the Clarendon area or whatever. He's 85 years old. He's blind and he has diabetes, and he's going to be walking 50 kilometers. He's starting in Portage at the Anglican Church on Sunday, August the 27th at 11 a.m. He's only doing it, I think, in 10 kilometers stints per day, which is more than I walked in the last year. And anyways, he's raising he approached the hospital in Shawville, but at the time they weren't ready take on the event or whatever. So anyways, the proceeds from the event are going to go to the Children's Hospital, CHIO or whatever. So he did this 3 years ago and he raised $120,000 for the hospital. So his goal this year is only he's made it a little less or whatever, but his goal is at $30,000. But anyways, he's going to be walking through a few other municipalities during the course of the thing. His final destination will be arriving at the opening ceremonies for the Shawville Fair on Thursday, August 31st, and they're going to lead him into the arena with a pipe band and everything. So anybody sees him out on the road, if you want to stop, make a donation, or if you want to check out his website, it's called Papa Walk for Kids, and all the money's going to CHIO.
Hello, Brand Orr, Mayor of Bristol. Nothing to report this month.
Odette Gunna, Mayor of Waltham. Nothing has happened. Nothing is happening. Nothing will happen in the future in Waltham, I don't think. But we keep hoping.
Colleen Larvier, Mayor of Leachfield, and all is quiet and all is well in Leachfield. Lynn Cameron, Fort to Fort, and as well as the Mayor of Clarendon said, Papa Mackay will be starting his trip at the Anglican Church in Portash. So we're kind of hoping we have a bit of a cheering committee to start him out.
Raymond Pino, Mayor of Camels Bay. August 23rd at the Morris Beauregard Park downtown, we'll be inaugurating our shuffleboard game and our horseshoe game. So all council will be there with myself, and anybody interested to challenge us to one of those games are very welcome. So August 23rd at 6:30 p.m.
I hope you're practicing. Oh, thank you very much, everyone. We'll now go to general administration, and our Director General, Kim Lesage. We'll need a resolution. This is the 2023 adopted transportation budget forecasts.
Thank you, Jane. Une résolution pour nos prévisions budgétaires 2023 pour transport adapté. So in addition to confirmations that were sent to the MTQ for the year 2023, we would like to confirm our financial participation of the MRC in the Paratransit Subsidy Program, PSTA, of the Ministère des Transports. We also need to approve the transportation plan for the development of services in the reinvestment strategy for surpluses attributable to this with the ministry. We are, with this resolution, going to confirm that the number of trips for the year 2022 for Transport Action Paratransit services was 13,600, and that the number that are anticipated for 2023 is 15,000. The resolution is that the Warden Toller and myself be authorized to sign all documents ratifying this resolution, and to ensure the follow-up by forwarding this to the Transportation Service Development and Reinvestment Strategy Plan to the MTQ.
Do you have a question, or you'd like to move? All right. Mayor Gagnon.
Okay. Yeah, I support adaptive transport, but the highest cost here has Chichester at 20,000, and the next biggest municipality is like 16,000, and it's Mansfield. There's a problem with this, and well, yeah, I only have 352 people, residents, and the other one you're looking at 2,300. So I don't know what the problem is, but I can't support this resolution.
Is this time sensitive, or could we wait another month to approve it? Because
two separate things. There might be an error in the table. The other thing was that the budget, the 118,300 was already adopted by resolution at the table of mayors. This resolution is just to confirm our financial participation for the subsidy program of the MTQ and to approve the transportation plan.
yes. Yes, so yes, and there may be other mayors that question the numbers too. So overall, it has been approved, the envelope, and we need to, this is more to initiate the service for us to vote tonight, but we will allow, of course, the opportunity for you to question specifically, and hopefully there's been some mistakes made. So this is not voting on the amounts of money individually, it's the overall envelope. Okay, to deposit the request. So there's still time to question the individual amounts for municipalities. Okay, all right. All those in, could I have someone move this recommendation, please, this resolution? Okay, we think we'll postpone this. I think it's wise. And yes, no, that's right. There's too many unanswered questions, so we will postpone this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Travis. Thanks, Kim. All right, we will go on to 13.2, which is the Vente pour taxe, sale for taxes, L'Île de Grand Calumet. Kim.
Let's see if this goes better. This is an item related to past tax sale auction, and it requires a resolution authorizing the DG and or the warden to sign two deeds prepared by notary for two different lots, and they're both located on Île du Grand Calumet.
Okay, could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Corriveau. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Finances, 14.1, financial report. Annie Vinecourt.
Okay, now for the MRC, so the last couple of months, of course, because there was no council in July. For the accounts receivables, just to note, we have like maybe a handful of like actual invoices that are due to the MRC for a little over 30,000. The rest are all the loans that we have with our businesses, and there was a shares that were built as well. So that's why our accounts receivables are higher at $2,434,968.72. We paid the bills to be paid for this month are a total of $184,345.80. So we have our regular monthly bills that we pay out on our contracts for example, for the assessment department. There's legal fees, there's gas for the truck, there's pure-related expenses, postage, stuff like that. And then the next one has the longer list of checks made in the last 2 months. So it's larger than what we normally see. So in here, normally it's all like the grants that are paid out to businesses or SHQ files, just regular maintenance bills. So we have a total here of $837,583.37. And the last document is the travel expenses for council in the last couple of months. So basically just for the June meetings, $1,077.02.
Any comments or questions? Okay, could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Mayor Christine Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 14.2, Visa Desjardins, a resolution.
This is a resolution to request a visa from Desjardins, a new one for a limit of $1,000 for our new employee in the territory department, Jonathan Pagé. I'll make sure I say the name right, Jonathan Pagé. So in his name, so that he can purchase supplies or gas for the vehicle when he's out and about for the TNO and the leases.
Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Colleen LaRiviere. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Oh, Stephanie, I am so sorry. I'd like to give Stephanie Roche a chance to speak about her events in Rapide des Joachim. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Sorry, I had to add it. It was a little exciting for us. We have been approved through grants and through municipal contributions for a long-awaited splash pad for our youth. So it's pretty exciting. And they started the installation this past Monday.
That is wonderful. When will it be finished construction?
We're hoping that the kids will get to use a bit of it before the end of the season. So
maybe in September, October. That's great. Anyways, it's wonderful. And I do know that Doug Russell's wife, Joanne, said he was so sorry to miss that because he'd been looking forward to it. He had to be in the hospital, I think, but you had the rest of your council there?
Yeah, so it's not complete yet. Like I said, they've mostly just been doing landscaping.
Okay.
But in coming weeks, we should have it up and ready, and we should have it for a short period of time for the kids this year, but it'll be there for from here on out. So that's pretty exciting.
Please let me know when you're having your opening. I'd like to try to be up.
Will
there.
do.
Okay,
Thank-
Stephanie, thank you so much. I'm sorry I wasn't looking at the screen and I should have.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
Okay. So now we'll go to economic development and our economic development director, Guillaume Boudreau, is on holidays. So Kim is going to be looking after all of his reports, starting with 15.1 investment committee recommendation.
Une recommandation du comité d'investissement. So a recommendation for the investment committee following their meeting of July 26, 2023. And it would be to recommend a PSC grant in the amount of $31,500, a PSC grant in the amount of $39,700, a PSC grant in the amount of $25,100, and to amend the subsidy percentage up to 50% and extend the PSC subsidy to December 31st, 2023 for a fourth project.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.2, modification request on FRR2, file CA 2023-0504, Co-op Aventure Helianth, la boucle de la Drave électrifiée.
Une demande de modification pour le FRR2, un dossier de la coop Aventure Héliante pour la boucle de la Drave électrifiée. So this is a request for modification to an FRR2 file, and it was proposed to accept the modification. It's to change the percentage allocated to the electrified log drive trail project, and that we acknowledge that the money set aside for this project in the amount of $21,088.50 is not modified. So it's a modification to the percentage that's allocated and not the value of the project, of the grant.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Marilyn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.3, amendment FRR stream 3. Kim?
Un avenant au FRR volet 3 pour le signataire. So considering that we have an agreement that was signed with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, the MAMASH, under stream 3, signature innovation. The project has been reoriented and an amendment is required from the MAMASH that the Warden Jane Toller is authorized to sign this amendment, and it's for an agro-food processing project, Agri Saveur, that will help contribute to our agricultural economy.
Agri Saveur Pontiac, right, Sandra? Yes, that's how we've named it. Okay, any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this resolution, please? Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.4, MRC as promoter for FRR4.
MRC comme promoteur au FRR volet 4, whereas the MRC is currently working on an agricultural and food processing space and accelerator incubator, Agri Saveur Pontiac project, for which expenses are admissible for the FRR Stream 3. It's a project that's aligned with the agriculture and economic growth priorities of the MRC Pontiac Council, and therefore a resolution that the MRC be a promoter and that the Economic Development Department present a request for funding to the Vitalization Committee for FRR4.
So they're going to be making a presentation and a request. Okay, we're not approving anything right now. Okay, could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Christine Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.5, appointment of steering committee, Trajectoire Pontiac.
Nomination du comité directeur pour Trajectoire Pontiac. This is for removing or replacing a person on the committee and adding 2 people for the services steering committee to ensure implementation of the agreement that we have for FRR Stream 3 and for our Agri Saveur project. So it's to name Sébastien Bonnereau, President of the Chamber of Commerce of Pontiac, on this committee, by adding Vincent Philibert, who's representing the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Alimentation du Québec, and also adding Monsieur Claude Vallière, who is President of l'Union des producteurs agricoles du Pontiac.
Okay, any comments or questions? Would someone like to move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Odie Gaudin. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. The signatory MIFI midterm report resolution, Kim?
Une signature pour la reddition de comptes au MIFI, Ministère de l'Immigration, Francisation et Intégration. A midterm report is necessary and ready to deliver for the MIFI program. And whereas, so it's just to authorize myself to sign that said report that's been prepared and presented to the table of mayors.
Any comments or questions? I need someone please to move this resolution. Moved by Mayor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Consultant Pay des Aides. Consultant.
C'est pour trouver un consultant pour travailler le PDZA. So the Agricultural Zone Development Plan was last revised for the MRC in 2014. And our Vision 2030 Strategic Development Plan highlights agriculture as a priority. So we're looking for professional support to assist the Economic Development Department in revising the development plan for the agricultural zone. There is a MAPAC grant of $50,000 that's been approved for revision of the PDZA. And the analysis form for the choice of a contracting method has been completed, and the hiring by mutual agreement is proposed. So it's therefore proposed that Samuel Comtois of Groupe Pleine Terre be hired for the revision of the PDZA for $50,000, supported by the Agricultural Economic Development Commissioner.
Thanks, Kim. Any comments or questions? Okay, could I have someone please move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.8, partnership with the Chamber of Commerce resolution.
Une résolution de partenariat avec la Chambre des commerces. FR2, Stream 2 has a special project and development fund, whereas we adopted the 2023 budget for FRR2, an amount of $95,649.90 was set aside for special development projects. Of that $95,000, there's a balance of $83,693.29 still available. So we are proposing that we invest $3,500 of that amount for the conference fees for Dr. Sylvain Guimont for the mid-year event that would be hosted by the Chamber of Commerce of Pontiac.
Okay, everyone in agreement? Could I have someone move that resolution, please? Moved by Mayor Corey Spence. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.9, final report, FRR Stream 2 2021. Kim?
Résolution pour le rapport final de Fonds Région et Ruralité, FRR Volet 2 pour 2021. Whereas the MRC Pontiac must produce an activity report with an annual balance sheet, as well as a list of FRR stream through grants committed in 2021. The MAMASH has requested that the Economic Development Department detail the priority list, breakdown of expenditures, and financial status of this project. And therefore, we're proposing that the MRC adopt the activity report, balance sheet, and list of FRR projects committed in 2021 as filed.
Thank you. Could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Marilyn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Kim, thank you. You've done a great job of all of Guillaume's reports. Thank you so much. 16, Public Safety, Julian Gagnon. School Firefighter Training Program, request for financial assistance.
All right, good evening, everyone. This resolution concerns a Firefighter 1 training program at the École secondaire Sœur de Coulonge in Mansfield. So this is a project that has been ongoing for 2 or 3 years now, at least. It was very heavily pushed by ex-mayors Maurice Borgard and Gilles Dion of Mansfield, who ultimately wanted to see a training program for firefighters due to the reduced numbers in our fire departments, and to try to potentially aid in recruiting. We have decided this year at SSC to offer our Firefighter One training program at the school to high school students. There will be a group of 20 firefighters or 20 students taking the firefighting course, hopefully to ultimately become local firefighters within our fire departments. This is a collaboration between the MRC, the municipalities of Fort Collonges and Mansfield, and the Commission Scolaire au Bois de l'Outaouais. It actually will be the first project of its kind in Quebec. And the resolution tonight is to request from the Ministry of Public Security a financial assistance for this program, separate from the envelope we already have obtained for our financial assistance in firefighting safety. So it's great news. This resolution is just simply a rubber stamp to ensure that we get this financial approval. But as I said, it's the first of its kind in the province, so we're very happy to have it in the Pontiac.
Julian, was this your initiative, your idea of high school training?
There was a pilot project, I should add, in 2018 in 2 other MRCs, which was held by École Nationale des Pompiers du Québec to see if it would work. It was ultimately approved, and the ministry has made it official from then on, but we are the first to apply from the ministry. Yes.
Well, I think he deserves a round of applause. I think it just thrills all of us to know that we're the first. So this is wonderful. And, you know, for years, I hear about the difficulties sometimes having sufficient, people in your municipalities to fill the firefighting needs. And I was just thinking at the same time, what a wonderful example this is going to set in the high schools. It's going to make the kids very aware of many things. Such as preventing fires, etc. And I just think this is going to be a win-win. We're thrilled. This is fantastic. So please keep us updated. And I don't know if it would be appropriate, but maybe when you first have like the training or have maybe the kids actually there, some of us might like to come and just and just encourage them. So this is great. Excellent, excellent. Donnie, go ahead. Oh, you want to move? Yeah, I forgot about that. So Mayor Donnie Gagnon is moving the resolution. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Okay, and Julian has a second. 16.2, sign installation flashing green light.
Yes, so this resolution concerns firefighting flashing green light signs that were purchased over the winter by the MRC. The project was originally meant to be a service, at least an order in a bit larger number of signs for the local municipalities. But having considered the cost of these signs and the fact that these signs are made to raise awareness amongst the residents of the entire MRC, not just the residents of one single municipality, we have listed a number of locations where these signs could be installed, which are strategically placed so that the entire population of the MRC become aware of these signs and the use of these green flashing lights in firefighting personal vehicles, because ultimately that is our goal, is to reach as much of the population as possible, with signs going as far as Aileen and Kaywood and the Rapide des Joachins. We've listed locations that may be more I guess increases the visibility of these signs, and therefore we would like the MRC to agree to manage or run this program on behalf of its municipalities.
Great, thank you very much. Could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Mayor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Thank you, Julian. Okay, we'll go to 17 regional infrastructures, and we're back to Kim Lesage. And this is engineering services and technical expertise agreement, MRC and signatory municipalities.
Considering the agreement that was reached between the MRC Pontiac and the signatory municipalities, which is in fact all 18 municipalities, in the provision of engineering services and technical expertise by the MRC Pontiac, that was signed on August 15th, 2018. Considering that the engineering department's engineer was appointed a director general and clerk treasurer by the resolution of council in February 2023. Considering that the position of engineer was posted for several months and that unfortunately no qualified candidates were received. During this transition period, the engineer, myself, provided certain engineering services in relation to work in progress in order to keep assisting local municipalities. However, we cannot fulfill our responsibilities with respect to the agreement without an engineer in the engineering department. It's therefore proposed to formally notify the signatory municipalities of these above mentioned situation and of our intention to terminate the agreement, and also authorize myself to take those steps to give effect to this resolution.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions, Terry?
I'm sorry, Kim. I still have a lot of questions about this. I don't know. Is this something can we not have more discussion about this before we actually pass a resolution to abolish this?
Just one moment, please. Yeah. So right now we are not abolishing anything. It's just to inform the municipalities. And I know that at plenary, Kim did say that she would also provide a list of engineers that municipalities could access, which is what you used to do, I guess, before we had an engineer at the MRC.
Okay, so it's
just
the 60-day notice starts today?
No date on the document.
No, but the 60-day notice that we're supposed
I
to
see what you're
give to
saying.
the municipality starts today. So this will be brought back to the table 60 days from now, is what you're saying. Then what are we voting on?
That we're going to
These
move
are my
forward by
questions.
notifying the municipalities.
Okay, but so 60 days, it's supposed to be 60 days from the date of renewal of the contract. The date of renewal of the contract was August 15th. Well, that's when it was signed, so that's when it renews on an annual basis.
Article 5 of the agreement says that in the event that the employee of the engineering department voluntarily leaves the position, they can advise the staff or the signature municipalities that this is amended.
That it's canceled
Mhm.
within 60 days.
Not necessarily.
Okay, but you quote Article 17 in there as well. In the resolution we're voting on, there's a whole pile of different things, and that's why I'm just wondering, is there not
Perhaps-
more discussion that we could have about
perhaps
it?
We need to be able to take some kind of step today because Kim cannot physically be our director general and keep up with all the engineering responsibilities. And we all know how conscientious she is. And so I'm not sure if she can continue doing both jobs for another 30 days until we have more time to discuss. So I'm suggesting to her that we might have a special meeting and have an opportunity for more discussion. But you just want to give notice today. Is that it? The beginning is today for the 60 days. There's still 60 days to work on the solutions for the municipalities. Minimum of 60 days, could be more. Okay. So this today is simply the giving notice and allowing her to give notice for a minimum of 60 days. Corey, did you want to add to this?
No, I was just about to say that from my understanding, it's Kim is following the document as outlined, and she's giving the notification. That's my understanding, Terry.
Well, I mean, I can read it right here, and it says 60 days from the date of renewal, Article 17.
But then you
So
referred to something that a person, Article 18. Yeah, Article 18 supersedes that.
Is the search ongoing for an engineer? Can it be?
You know, we're so fortunate and maybe spoiled to have had Kim Lesage as an outstanding first engineer at the MRC, but the
Is not being fulfilled.
But now we're spoiled because we've had you and we would like somebody else to replace you. So I'm asking that the search be ongoing.
And that's something that in
yes,
the agreement as we have right now, excuse me, the agreement as we have right now with our signatory municipalities is not being followed. And it's my recommendation to make aware of this to the municipalities, which we don't need to do by resolution.
this is a resolution to let the municipalities know for transparency. Yes? Odie? You need to use the microphone, Odie.
Check down here. This doesn't affect me. I just have a question. Leave me alone. People that are in the midst of a project, how does that affect them? Would they have to hire a new engineer and kind of start over with them not knowing what's going on? That's all I want to know. It doesn't affect me.
It does affect you because I am working with your municipality.
Oh, this affects me greatly. I want to know what's going on.
And we are finishing our current work
Okay.
at the moment, yes.
Okay. Are there any other comments? Doris, go ahead.
So am I correct in saying that you or the MRC will follow out the projects that are to a certain date till we're finished? And the other question is what the MRC is thinking of is abolishing that job here, that it will no longer be an engineer.
We've had difficulty finding someone, and Kim did say that in the fall we could, revisit this and discuss it. But right now, it's always up to the table of mayors, yes. But Kim can't be expected to do both, and she is really doing the right thing by expressing the fact that right now the agreement is not being fulfilled because what she agreed to was before she also became our director general. So right now her priority is to be the director general. And I think we need to support her and help her, and to move this resolution forward tonight to simply give notice to the municipalities for transparency. We still have time to work on solutions. Okay.
I don't know if this should be asked in a meeting, but is there any way do you have suggestions? You're the person that has to come to us. This is first we hear of it was at the plenary that you were overloaded.
I think that we've known that she has been juggling a lot for a long time, but Kim did mention at the plenary that she does have a list of engineers that, isn't that correct? Not that are coming to replace you, but who could be available on contract basis. Yeah. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
I think we knew it was coming whenever we appointed Kim as Director General. It was just a matter of time. She's superwoman, but yeah. So
okay.
Anyway, thank you for the great job you did as an engineer. And awesome. And you're doing a great job.
And it's also not easy having to present the resolution about herself. Yes, go ahead.
And what about like the other municipality, like they can use no more, like you gotta have a kind of credit on the share, or what's gonna happen? No credit on the share?
Apparently no payment this year.
Oh, no payment.
No, you weren't charged. That's right. Okay, is there someone at the table who would like to move this resolution, please? Thank you very much. Moved by Mayor Odie Godin. That was a good discussion, everyone. Good questions. All those in favor? Can I see your hands up, please? I need a majority. Thank you very much. And opposed? And that carries. Thank you very much. We go to our last page, page 18, management of territory. Is Jason still here, or you're going to look after it, Kim, again? Good for you, wearing lots of hats. Call for tenders, revision of the land use and development plan of the MRC Pontiac.
Thank you. Un appel d'offres pour la révision du schéma d'aménagement et de développement de la MRC. The MRC Pontiac must proceed with our revision of our land use and development plan. There's been a recent departure in our land use planning department, in our territory department, that was carrying out this project. So we wish to obtain bids for the revision of the land use and development plan. It's therefore proposed to issue a public call for tender to mandate a firm to carry out the revision of the schéma d'aménagement. And this would be for professional services contract, that we will put out the call for tender documents as presented to the mayors, including specifications and selection criteria, and a resolution to authorize myself to take the necessary steps to issue the call for tender in accordance with the rules in effect for awarding contracts on the SEAO, the Système électronique d'appel d'offres.
Thank you, Kim. Would like to move this resolution. Moved by Mayor Colleen LaRiviere. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. 18.2, support revision of the land use and development plan.
On cherche aussi un accompagnement pour la révision du schéma d'aménagement. With the recent departure of the MRC land use planner that was responsible for carrying out the project. Whereas also we have work carried out by an urban planner named Hélène Doyon, who was working with our territory department as part of a previous engagement. It is proposed to award a contract to Madame Doyon, as we don't have a current urban planner, to assist the MRC in its coordination of the project with the new firm. So we have a proposal for 100 hours by Madame Doyon at the cost of $155 per hour for 2023 and $160 per hour for 2024. This is a resolution to authorize myself to formalize the contract, including the signature and related documents, and it is on an as needed basis.
Thank you, Kim. Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Miscellaneous 19.1. This is a reminder to everyone that the president of FQM, Jacques Demers, he's doing a tournée of the province, and he's going to be meeting with Valley de la Gatineau and Pontiac and Des-Collines together, and it will be taking place in Gracefield. And Christine Francoeur said she would be coming, and I will be there. We're really hoping that we can have some more mayors, because the more aware that Jacques Demers is of Pontiac and our plans and hopes and realities, the better. And he knows me well, but he hasn't had a chance to meet many of you. So I'm really hoping yes, it's the 23rd of August at 9 a.m. If anyone needs a ride, we can meet here at the MRC and head up. Yes, it's for all elected officials, so please mention it to your councils if that helps. It would be great to have a good crowd going up. Yes, Odie. That's Jacques Demers himself is not bilingual, but we will do our best to ensure. I mean, the warden of Des-Collines is fully bilingual, and most of his council as well. So we can definitely do our best to ensure that there is translation throughout the day, throughout the morning. We wouldn't want anyone, no one should be there wasting their time. In fairness, everybody needs to understand. So we'll make sure that the languages are both represented. Okay, so I think that is the end of our agenda. Could I ask for a resolution to close the meeting? Moved by Mayor Odie Godin. All those in favor? Opposed, and that carries. Odie, I think you've closed more meetings. It used to be Brent Orr, but now it's you.